What up guys, it's Dragon Ball for Life here today and I'm back with another video. Now today's video we're going to be talking about how to beat characters with super speed. Now my last two videos haven't been getting that crazy amount of views, but if I'm being honest, I really enjoyed this series. I think it's a fun little series. And the reason why I made this YouTube channel was to make a little catalog of, my explanations or in-depth analysis on certain power sets and, power scaling and just fiction in general, but especially in Dragon Ball. But yeah, I just want to make this little catalogs and stuff because I do see a lot of, versus communities and debating communities talking about, this and that type of topic or this and that type of, idea. And I have a lot of, in-depth perception and ideas of my own. And I make these videos specifically as a catalog. So if anybody in the future wants to, have like some debate or discussion about who'd win in a fight or, characters' levels of power, you can look back in my videos for having some consistency in that realm and can use it as a reference point if you want to. This is for me just a library catalog that I want to put out, kind of like writing a book, just to write a book about a certain topic that you're interested in. But I would definitely love if you guys would like, share, subscribe, and view these videos, because these videos I really enjoy. But even if I'm not getting that many views on it, I really do like it. So yeah, let's talk about super speed. Now, like super strength, it's basically a very simple, power, superpower. Unlike some other ones that are a little more complex that have multiple different versions of them, super speed is very basic level. It is just moving really fast. Now you can do this, I guess, through flying or running or combat speed and travel speed, so you can add those in there too. But in the end of the day, the superpower is still the same. It's just moving really fast, and there's different levels about how fast you can move, just like with a strength, but that's not different types of it. It's just different levels to it. So yeah, let's get into super strength, super speed. How do you beat somebody with super speed? Now super speed is very, very hard and difficult to beat, and I think you would, depending on what level it is, you would need some very OP powers or some crazy technology to handle somebody of with that power. Unlike super strength, which is a lot more simpler, super speed is a little bit more complex. Now we have certain different categories of speed and levels of speed. We have characters that can move past peak human levels, so they can go maybe like 40, 50, even 60 miles per hour, and you have them going fast as cars that can go hundreds to 200 miles per hour. And then you have characters that can go at the speed of sound, which is 750 miles per hour at its slowest, and at its highest I think it's 761 miles per hour. So you can go at the speed of sound, which is Mach 1, or go past that, which would be being able to move sometimes, usually like dodge bullets and stuff. So you have supersonic, you have hypersonic, hypersonic plus, massively hypersonic plus. Then you have different percentages of the speed of light, and then until you get a speed of light, and then past that you go to FTL levels of speed, and then massively faster than levels of speed. And then you get some ridiculous ones, which I'm not going to go into. I'm just going to mainly stay on of a character can move at speed of light or faster than the speed of light, because those are usually the high caps when it comes to speed for most characters. But those are when you get to that levels of speed of fighting against a character, it gets very difficult. Now if it comes to a character that moves at superhuman levels of speed, like low level superhuman levels of speed, it can be dangerous to fight, but it's still not unbeatable. You would just need to be strong and very durable. If you're strong and durable, if you're durable enough, you can take their shots, and you're strong, you can easily beat them with a couple of shots. So even if they're able to hit you multiple times, all you need is one solid hit in. And the best way to do it is, if you have durability, you can just block or guard yourself and then just try to read up their movement and time it out and then hit them. So even if they are faster than you, you will be able to catch them off guard and at least get some licks in. And if you have some great super strength, you can either knock them out or kill them, or if you're strong enough, you can just obliterate them completely with a single punch or even just a few punches. So yeah, that is that level is pretty easy. Even if you go to the high levels of hundreds, even the speed of sound might sound like it's very fast, and it is very fast. The speed of sound Mach 1 is very quick. You have many machine guns and missiles and stuff that move faster than that you can basically hit the guy and kill them. So let's say for somebody like A-Train from The Boys, he moves at 1,000 10,000 miles per hour, which is a little bit over Mach 1, which is pretty fast, and he's very dangerous, but he's not unbeatable, you know? He can definitely speed blitz you, but if you're a character who has a decent enough level of durability and strength, once again, you can still hit him. Or, you know, if you have a decent level of durability, you can shoot him. Or, you know, you have like some mech outfit that can tank his hits. You can, you know, use that mech suit to shoot him or stuff. So you can shoot them with guns or missiles and kill them. Now, if you go higher than that to, you know, the massively hypersonic speeds, which is past, you know, rockets and stuff like that, then using conventional weapons like guns and, you know, rockets won't work very well unless if you're able to catch them off guard or find a way to trap them and then shoot them with it. So that would be harder to kill them. I would say the best way to, you know, handle somebody like that or kill them is to use weapons that use lasers. And since this is fictional worlds, most characters do have lasers. So there's lasers guns, there's machine that fire lasers. So the best way to do it would be to create a robot that fires lasers with, you know, fast tracking, or you yourself create you know, a mech suit that has that. So you will need a tracking system to be able to track people at high speeds. Even if it doesn't track them 100%, it will at least help out a lot, and have lasers. So you basically shoot lasers at them, multiple lasers, and since they will be massively hypersonic, plus even if they're at that high levels of speed, they will not be faster than a laser. So a laser can hit them and kill them. The only problem is to be able to aim and hit them. So if you have a robot, they will be able to process information a lot faster and track a lot quicker, especially at those speeds. Even those speeds is high, it can still get around close to that range. So you have a machine that can track them and shoot them with a laser, or you can create a mech suit that you can do it with, and that's when it comes to those levels. But when you get into the, you know, percentages of light speed, the tracking systems, you know, we have a lot of fictional characters have high level tracking systems. I mean, in DC, you have the scarabs that, you know, Blue Beetle wears. He was able to track Flash's you know, speed and hit him, and Flash moves way faster than that. So you can do it, but it does take some super high level and advanced level of tech to be able to hit somebody at that speed. Now let's get into the light speed and beyond light speed, because this is where it gets more dangerous. Because depending on how much faster you move, your opponent will look a lot slower, time will move slower. But when you move at literally light speed, time legit stops. And when you move past that, you'll be able to go through time scientifically, not in all fictional universes, but you would be able to go move through times. And even if you don't, you can simply still move so fast that they will be frozen like a statue, and that's dangerous. That's when it becomes very, you know, dangerous to fight them. You can't just use tech and stuff. Even if you have a very powerful armored suit, you cannot track them, because even if while you're tracking, let's say you're getting your arms up or preparing, you basically be stuck like a statue, and they can hit you multiple times. They can rip off pieces of your metal suit, destroy it, and with super speed, just like super strength, you will need augmented, you know, other powers. You can't just have super speed. You would need at least some durability, because if you're moving at that speed, the wind resistance hitting you and, you know, just even particles hitting you would be like explosions, and it will be very deadly to you. So you would have to have a certain level of durability and a resistance to heat, because the friction that you're moving in will literally burn away your skin and your bones and meat and all that stuff. So they would have to have heat resistance, durability, and technically they'll also have enhanced strength, because the faster you move and the faster you're able to hit something with your amount of mass, the more weight and mass gets transferred over from it. So if you're moving at, you know, hundreds of miles per hour and hitting somebody, compared to if you're moving tens of miles per hour, you will hit a lot harder, because you're, you know, the momentum of the mass that is traveling at that speed is at a higher rate. So it is just, you know, more deadly. And in science, real life science, if you were to go at light speed and to hit at light speed, you would have a punch that would be equivalent to an infinite. But in comic books, even characters that move those speeds don't hit with infinite amount of damage. They can, but they rarely, if ever, hit with an infinite amount of damage. So they will have enhanced, you know, striking damage. They'll have resistance to heat, and they'll have some level of durability, depending on, you know, how fast they can go. Now, when it comes to characters from like DC, like the Flash, they can negate those stuff by the fact that he uses a speed force, which kind of, you know, it's a smart and clever way for the writers to have a way for the characters to, you know, break the laws of physics and science, without having to question them, because normally you'd be like, well, wouldn't he be struggling to breathe, wouldn't the air resistance tear him apart, wouldn't he not be able to see this and that? But the point of Speed Force that was created by DC was to be like, hey, look, this is an outsourced power source. This is beyond dimensional comprehension, so these characters can go beyond the confines of physics and science, so we don't have to question it too much, which is smart. But most characters in other fictional universes don't have that. They just move at super speed, so it is a little bit less sensible. So if they do have it, they'll need those additional powers to be able to handle it. They can't just have super speed like the Flash to handle the speed that they're moving in it. And that makes it more dangerous, if I'm being honest, because then if they have enhanced durability, it'll take quite a bit of strength to knock them out. Now, once when you get to that range, you cannot beat them without superpowers. You will need superpowers, and what you would need is to also have some level of super speed. You wouldn't need to be going at the speed of light or faster than light, but you would still need to be considerably fast enough to be able to at least move around. Because if your regular human levels of speed are even a little bit above that, you will still be stuck in time. Now, if you move, faster, depending on how much faster you move, the less you'll be like frozen. Now, obviously, if you move at, hypersonic, you won't be fast enough to just hit them and stuff, but you would at least look like you would be moving in slow motion instead of just frozen, which is at least a little bit better. So the best way to handle somebody like this, I would say, is to have, enhanced durability, strength, and speed. You won't need to have their speed on their level, but at least fast enough so you can at least, move around and be able to handle it, because otherwise you would just be frozen. This way you'll be in slow motion, but you can still get them in a way of you are strategic. And the way I would do it is to guard myself. Since I have durability, I can take their shots, and guard yourself and try to find an opening, because all you need is a couple of solid hits to take them out, whereas they need countless. Now, if you're durable enough and you have a good enough defense, you would just have to counterattack them. Basically, shield up, look at their movement, read up their movement, read up how it's going. If their movement is linear and they rely heavily on their speed instead of, and don't use fighting that much, they will be easier to catch off guard and hit. That will make it a lot easier. And Goku showed this when he was against Dispo. Dispo was way faster than him, but Goku was able to hit him because he was very linear. All he had to do was, wait it out. So if you're durable enough, you can tank their shots and find an opening and hit them and catch them off guard and knock them out, or kill them with, your hit. So for that, you would need to have a high level of durability, a high level of strength, and a decent level of speed, and also be good enough combatant where you can, time out your opponent. So even if they're hitting you, you want to be stopping time. You would just be like slow motion. But even in slow motion, characters can hit and knock characters out that are way faster than them. We've seen this throughout fiction all the time. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to have telekinesis. Even if the character can move very fast, if you can lift them up with your mind, or if you're able to lift them up with your mind, then they won't be able to move. Unlike confining them with constraints, they can vibrate their molecules, either melting the thing or just vibrating out of it. But if you're lifting them with your telekinesis, they can't vibrate. You're not holding them with anything solid. You're holding them with your psychic abilities. So the way I would see it is have telekinesis, be able to lift them up and break their bones, crush them, smash them, rip them apart, destroy them that way, or just lift them up and slam them on the ground. But if you have telekinesis, that's an easy way to beat it. Now, some people might say, well, what if they're, too fast, and, if they go so fast that they can, it looks like time is stopped, then they will be able to, go through it. Well, there's a smart way to do it. If you have psychic abilities, you can create a psychic barrier around you where if anything comes in that vicinity, they get trapped in your telekinesis and it lifts them up. So let's say you have this telekinesis barrier around you and everything you walk past is lifted up, all the debris, cars and stuff. So if they run into that zone to attack you, they will be getting hit by it and instantly be taken up. So this will be a precautionary measure you would have to do beforehand. You can, with telekinesis, you can, activate your telekinetic powers and lift them up and, like I said, kill them that way, or, incapacitate them. But the argument could be, well, what if they're moving so fast that, at light speeds and stuff, time stop, they can knock you out? that's when you have to pre-plan it. Then you have to send out this telekinesis barrier around you, so when they get into it, everything that comes into that vicinity instantly gets lifted up because it's already activated. So if they come in super speed and run at you, they'll get trapped in it and they'll be lifted up, and you can do whatever you want to them. Also, another thing is through psychic attacks. We've seen Flash getting knocked out by psychic attacks by he got knocked out by, what's the name, Reverse Flash. He knocked him out easily, and they wouldn't have any resistance to psychic attacks. Now, some people will say, well, you can't really read their mind and stuff or invade their mind because they're processing information too fast. But that's different than a psychic attack. Reading those minds is you're invading their mind and trying to get into it. Psychic attacks, you can literally just send out a pulse from your head and hit them. It's just targeting a signal, sending it out. You don't have to really go in depth in their mind, unless if you want to literally put them in a genjutsu or some shit. But to really psychically attack them, you don't need to actually be able to control their mind or connect to their mind. You just need to attack their mind. So yeah, you can also do that. Magic can also work. If you have some magic that can do something crazy, or reality warping, but that's on a higher end scale. I want to keep it to the most low level of power that you would need to beat characters on this level. And since super speed, especially going faster than light or at light speed, is ridiculous, you're going to require you to do some ridiculous ass things to beat them. So it's not that simple to on how to beat them in that case. You will need some crazy things. Another way I think you can kind of beat them is teleportation. If you're not faster than them, at least you can teleport. Because teleportation, the great thing about it, and there's many types of teleportation, which I'll make a video about that in the future. I can't wait to do that one. But the great thing about teleportation is you can get from point A to point B without any time. Usually, unless you're going by the real definition, then it's very, very short, ridiculous time, which moving at the speed of light or fast and speed of light will not make you move at that level. If you can teleport behind them and stab them or just shoot them, because they will still have some levels of regular durability, but you can teleport behind them and kill them. So teleportation is a great way to nullify super speed, even speeds at that level, because yeah, they can move so fast that you stop in time, but if you can teleport, you would move so fast that stop time won't even affect you and stuff. So you can do that. There's a couple of other ways, but usually the best way is to have some other powers that can kind of match up and then do that. So now let's go over all the powers that you would need to beat them, or ways to beat somebody at moving at light speed or fast and light speed, because I think that's the big one that people want to talk about on how to beat characters that move at that levels of speed. Have a decent level of durability, strength, and a decent level of speed. If you have durability, you can tank their hits and try to read up their movements. If you have the strength, you can take them out, and you have the speed, you can at least react to it in a certain amount of time and read their movements at least a lot better. You won't have to move at their levels of speed, but you can still do it. Characters that are a lot slower than other characters are able to get the jump or take out characters way faster than them, even at those levels of speed, because of their skill training and the fact that they're able to tank enough to be able to read up their movements. And then telekinesis, for me, I think is the best way to do it, because this way you can lift them up with your mind and end them that way. They can't really vibrate out of that. You can end them that way. Another way to do it is create a telekinesis barrier around you where they come into it, they get lifted up. Or another thing that I forgot to mention was you can also have it where you can have protection around you, where you can lift up all these objects around you, like debris, like rocks and stuff, and make it swirl around you with their psychic ability. So if they come in, they'll possibly get hit with it. And this is very, very useful because even if you say, well, they have a high level of durability, remember, they're not just getting hit by the debris. They're getting hit by this debris moving at a certain level of speed with their speed coming in, and on top of it, the telekinesis will amplify these objects that they're getting hit by. That's a great way to do it. So that's another great way to do it. And then you can also have teleportation where you can teleport behind them. But there's even more stuff that you could actually do. There are some ways to stop them. Batman has shown that two perfect ways to stop someone with super speed like the Flash is to have an adhesive that gets them stuck and sticky, and even with a vibration they can't break out of it. And two, to have something where they create the surface that they're running on frictionless, because the reason we are able to run or move on something is because there's friction to move your foot on it. Now if they fly, that won't really work very well. Like let's say somebody like Superman, it wouldn't work against him because he could just fly. But if it's against somebody like the Flash and you create a frictionless floor, like through ice, like using an ice gun or ice powers, if they run at you, they slip and they can fall and they can hit something. Especially the speed they're moving at, it's more dangerous if they fall or hit something. So that you can trip them up through that way. You can throw this adhesive that gets them stuck, which it's been shown to work on the Flash. Batman has used it with some mech suits he's had, where he had like some sticky adhesive, and even with the Flash's super speed, couldn't vibrate his molecules through it. So you can you can create something like that to stop them, and then put a bullet in their head or whatever. Another way to do it is if you have the power to fire out energy from your body like Dragon Ball characters. Now, the best way to do it is to use a complete explosion move. These are the ones where they basically control the energy in their body to do the X mark with their arms, and then release the energy in a big spherical amount of destruction. Now, this is very good because of the Flash or like some character with super speed does come in to try to hit the person that is doing this. Now they're in an area where it's full of energy in a very big circle. So the only way to go through this without being disintegrated is to move so fast and vibrate your molecules that all that energy that's going out, just your body phases right through it. But to do that, it requires high levels of speed and consistent amount of time to do it, because if they unleash that power out for a while, then they'll have to do it for the entire time, because if any moment they go back to solid or stop, they will be hit with it, and they will be either seriously damaged by it or completely vaporized by it. So they'll have to be moving around the explosion the entire time consistently, and avoid any of the attack, because the attack is consistently moving throughout it. So they'll have to do that. And for fast characters, one thing I forgot to mention, and a lot of people don't realize, is the faster they are, the more energy they need to consume, and the more stamina or energy they do consume, and the more stamina they lose. So the faster the character is, the more their stamina is worse. So if you're fighting as a fast character and you can somehow survive, or have some ways to keep them at bay and make them waste their energy, they're going to get slower and slower and slower to the point where you can actually handle them, and to the point where they're too tired. So you can also try to find a way to tire them out. And I think this is a perfect way, because if you're unleashing energy and they're trying to move around it, they'll be going at their top level speed consistently. And if you do it consistently, the explosions over and over again, they'll have to keep on doing it, and they'll waste their energy. And luckily for like characters like Dragon Ball characters, they have massive amounts of energy, and the amount of energy they need to release to obliterate people moving at super speed wouldn't even be that high. So they can do continuous massive explosions over and over and over again from their entire body with just a little amount of energy. They can use tiny amounts of energy and explode out of their body every time, and the guy won't be able to get in even if it's weak, because it's just too powerful for them. So they will have to go around it every time to just get to the point. By that time they'll be too tired, and even if your attacks don't hit them, you can now fire an attack that can obliterate them. Another way to do it is to have the ability to absorb kinetic energy and release it yourself. So you have certain characters that they take damage, and the damage they take or energy attack they get hit by, their body absorbs it, and they're able to release it either through physical attacks or energy attacks. Either way, you will be very dangerous. Let's say somebody is going so fast, they're hitting you, and they're hitting you so fast that your body's absorbing the damage. Now the body's accumulating the amount of damage, and instead of really taking you out or hurting you, it's actually making you stronger and giving you more energy to release and obliterate them. Now this can be a problem too, though, because even those characters that have those abilities have a limit to how much energy they can absorb. So if a character has super speed, can over max out that, they can tax out their energy or damage absorption ability, and it can end up backfiring and being the opposite. But if you have to a high enough level where you can tank up enough, you can tank it and then get back up and fire that energy right at them, ending up killing them. So yeah, those are basically just a couple kind of things I thought of on how to beat super speed. Super speed is still very deadly and dangerous. Even though there's many ways to handle it, it is still one of the most overpowered superpowers. And unlike the other superpowers where they need to have, they're more complicated and more complex, they have many different versions, super speed is very simple and straightforward, but it's also still high level and top tier. So if any character has super speed, especially those levels, they're definitely a top tier level threat, and it's not easy to beat them, especially if a character can move so fast that you're frozen in time. It's kind of very difficult to take somebody like that. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for next time.